Have you ever wondered why some people just never seem to grow up, no matter how old they are? Maybe you work with someone like this. They're demanding, self-obsessed, never listen, always blame others. But the real problem is they act like overgrown children, not adults. This right here is the most toxic form of immaturity. And if you want to be taken seriously in life, it's time to stop doing this immediately. You're watching the Growth Mindset Project, the channel where we break down the science of personal growth, maturity, and real-world success. So if you want to up-level your life, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives into mindsets that actually work. Let's get real about the most toxic form of immaturity. Here's the truth. What many people call narcissism isn't always some deep, incurable personality flaw. More often than not, it's just immaturity that never grew up. Or worse, it's immaturity that has been allowed to stick around way past its expiration date. Let's rewind to early childhood. Research shows that about 5% of 2-year-old boys go through a phase. They hit, bite, steal toys, throw tantrums. It's a rough patch. These kids are aggressive, impulsive, testing boundaries, and very self-centered. But here's the catch. By age 4, almost all of them grow out of it. They learn, through discipline and parental guidance, to control their impulses, share, and consider other people. But a tiny minority doesn't grow out of it. For that small group, the self-centered, impulsive attitude sticks. It's this failure to mature that can lead to lifelong patterns of manipulation, antisocial behavior, and sometimes even criminality. And when this toxic form of immaturity persists into adulthood, it looks a lot like narcissism. Total lack of empathy, constant need for attention, throwing others under the bus, never taking responsibility. What does immaturity dressed up as adulthood actually look like? Picture a grown man or woman who is stuck thinking and acting like a show-offy adolescent. Everything is about being top dog, proving themselves, dominating others. It's like watching a cartoon version of an adult. Look at me. I'm the most important. I always win. It's childish. But because it's coming from someone older, it becomes toxic. No one likes a kid who refuses to grow up, but it's a disaster in a leader, a partner, or a co-worker. Maybe you've seen the so-called alpha act go viral. Online personalities flaunting flashy lifestyles, making outrageous claims, showing off aggression, dominance, and self-centered bravado. Young people, especially young men who haven't had strong role models, are easily drawn to this version of masculinity. It looks confident, powerful, decisive. But the reality is, this is just the most toxic form of immaturity in disguise. It's not real strength. Let's break this down a little more. Psychologists have long noticed that people can get stuck at different stages of childhood in the way they relate to the world. The most obvious toxic form of immaturity? It's being stuck in complete dependence. These are people who rely on others for everything, complaining, demanding, waiting to be rescued. Imagine a grown adult who acts like a baby, expecting others to cater to their needs, never taking action for themselves, emotionally overwhelmed and manipulative. It's exhausting to be around, and nobody takes that seriously. But the show-off, narcissistic version isn't really any better. Sure, it's a step up from complete infantile dependence. At least these people can function in the world, sometimes even get attention or short-term success. They might get relationships, they might get followers. But over the long term, people start to see through the act. Because true maturity means more than being noticed. It means being responsible, accountable, and adding value to others. Real men, and real women too, move beyond the peacock stage and become people others can actually trust, rely on, and look up to. If you're watching this and you recognize this pattern in yourself, even just a little, here's the wake-up call. The most toxic form of immaturity is holding you back, and it's making other people see you as someone they can't take seriously. Whether you're the type who wants to be the center of attention, or you lean toward expecting everyone else to take care of your needs, it's immature, and it's time for a shift. And if you're finding this useful, take a moment to hit that like button and drop a comment down below. Have you ever dealt with someone who just refused to grow up? Or maybe you caught some of these toxic habits in yourself. Let's talk about it. So why does this pattern persist? Partly, it's because in our culture, there are fewer and fewer quality role models showing what real maturity looks like. When immature personalities take center stage online, whether in business, dating, or even politics, it sends a clear message. Show-off masculinity is the way to win. But that's only appealing to those who are still developmentally stuck as teenagers themselves. There's actually a developmental purpose behind it. Between ages 13 and 15, especially for young men, there's a natural tendency to admire rule breakers. This is the age where testing boundaries helps teenagers shift from total dependence on parents to some independence. But here's the secret most people miss. This stage is meant to be temporary. It helps you break away from childhood, not get stuck in a pattern of permanent rebellion or narcissistic self-centeredness. If you never break any rules as a teenager, that's not good either. Those who always play it safe are actually more at risk for problems with dependency, anxiety, and depression later in life. On the other end, kids who break every rule are the ones who end up with lifelong struggles, substance abuse, violence, criminality. The healthiest pattern is the balanced middle. Experimenting, making mistakes, learning, and then maturing beyond the need to constantly push limits or show off. Here's the real tragedy. When people never move past the rule-breaking, self-obsessed stage, they're forever stuck as 15-year-olds in grown-up bodies. All show, no substance. Loud, but not admirable, and nobody. No boss, no friend, no romantic partner will ever truly take a person like that seriously, no matter how much they shout, "I'm the best." You might even recognize this in yourself. Are you obsessed with proving yourself to everyone? Do you constantly need validation, admiration, or attention from others? Are you quick to blame, slow to admit mistakes, always trying to stay on top by tearing others down? If so, that's not strength. It's the most toxic form of immaturity, and it will stop you from achieving real respect and trust. If you're still with me at this point, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a growth mindset project video. It really helps us reach more people like you. So what's the way out? Real maturity means letting go of both dependency and narcissistic showmanship. It means stepping up, taking responsibility, being generous, supporting others, being a leader, not a peacock. The surprising truth, those who are most respected, most loved, most trusted, are the ones who outgrew the need to constantly prove themselves, and instead focused on making a positive impact. You see this with men and women who, around their mid-20s, suddenly shift. Crime rates bad decisions, and reckless stunts all drop. Why? Because for most people, maturity finally kicks in. Responsibility for others, family, co-workers, communities, starts to matter more than being the loudest or showiest person in the room. The golden mean, that sweet spot, is what matters most. Enough confidence to take risks and be assertive, balanced by humility, responsibility, and a real desire to serve. Being good doesn't mean being a doormat. It means having an edge, but using it in service of something greater than yourself. So next time you're tempted to hold on to that toxic form of immaturity, whether it's acting out, showing off, refusing to grow up, remember, no one will take you seriously as long as you act like an overgrown child. The real power, the real respect, comes from maturing, no matter where you start. If you found these insights valuable, check out our other videos for more guides to personal growth. And don't forget to hit that bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.